Good evening, everybody, and welcome. I should say good afternoon, everybody. Tad Kazaniski, Kevin Schulz, Rob Strauss here. Yes, we are live. You look at the Lady Knights right there as we pan down a little bit. They are getting ready for this game. It's going to start in about 14 minutes from now. They're going to take on Manchester Township. Now, Manchester Township, guys, we were here 2 years ago, and let's just talk about 2 years ago. They were awesome 2 years ago.
And probably their best player was Destiny Adams, who was a freshman 2 years ago, who now is 6'3" and can run the floor and do just about everything as well as any girl above 6 foot you're ever going to see. She's definitely a high-level Division I prospect.
And Rob, this team is so good that they are the number 3 team in the state.
Yeah, 25-4 coming into this contest. Lost to a couple top-ranked teams in the state as well, but you know, the resume speaks for itself. They went to the semifinals of the Tournament of Champions last year and had just a phenomenal year last year, and have just reloaded. They haven't rebuilt, they've reloaded again for the 2019-2020 season.
So legitimately, they are the number 3 team in the state based on the fact they have 4 losses. 2 came out of state. The other 2 came to the number 1 team, St. John Vianney, and the number 2 team in Trenton State. So as we pan over slowly to the right and look at the Lady Knights, Kevin, I'm going to start with you again for our live audience checking in. We're about 13 minutes away. What are some of the many things that Sterling has to do to keep themselves even in this game?
Well, problems for Sterling has been when they've turned the ball over a lot. Obviously, you can't have turnovers. You've got to slow the game down, and it's no coincidence. You look at their schedule and saw games have been close. The Mainland game was a 41-37 game, low-scoring game. They're just going to have to run time off the clock, keep the ball out of keep the ball out of Manchester's hands, and somehow frustrate them, and not get into foul trouble.
As you see us live here, a beautiful complex here from Manchester Township. Tad Kazaniski, Rob Strauss, Kevin Schulz with you here. You see we have about 12 minutes until game time here. And before we get started, we want to thank the athletic department here in Manchester Township. They're very friendly to us before, very friendly to us again. And if you're from Manchester Township checking out this game, we hope you enjoy the game that we're going to bring to you today. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things I notice about this gym is how yellow it is. And it's not how bright it is. It's a bright yellow, so to speak. It's a pretty neat gym. A lot smaller than our gym, obviously, but should be a pretty good atmosphere here on a Saturday afternoon for the semifinal.
Yeah, there's a decent crowd here for the Manchester Township crowd. As we go to our other camera and take a look, you can see on the other side. And not only, Kevin, does the Sterling girls have to deal with Manchester, they're going to have to deal with a lot of home fans here.
No question about it. And I mean, they've been in atmospheres where gym's been packed. They've dealt with a lot of fans. I know when they played Haddonfield, it was kind of a playoff type atmosphere. So, you've just got to block that out. If you're able to do that, that's the first step. And pulling off which would be probably the biggest upset this year or in a long time.
One of the things that Sterling is really going to have to keep an eye on, one of many things, is their three-point shooting, Ted. And we compiled the stats. Sterling as a team, 26 three-pointers on the season. They have 3 players that have more than 26 and 2 more on deck with 24 and 23 respectively.
Yeah, so you know you're going to have trouble with the outside shooting game. That is going to be a problem. But there's even a worse stat when it comes to rebounding, Rob.
Yeah, the rebounding not looking too good for Sterling either. They have, obviously, LaTanya Berry as their team's leading rebounder and all-time leading rebounder as well. But they have, I think, what does LaTanya have? About 280 rebounds, I believe.
279.
279, well, on the verge of 280. Manchester Township has a girl that's already at 333 for the season. So that's another impressive stat. Sterling is going to have, they do have their work cut out for them, Kevin.
No question about it. And, one thing that you're looking at when you look at Sterling, is it's a team that probably is playing better now than they have all year. And I think one of the reasons is that they're playing as a team. You're seeing more controlled half-court sets where everybody's getting the ball. They're longer half-court sets. And that's what they're going to need today. I think if you get in a fast-paced game with Manchester, you're definitely going to come up in the short end.
So again, Tad Kazaneski, Rob Strauss, Kevin Schulz with you here, and Andrew Kane, our head technician here, along with John Hallwood, set to bring you all the action in this game as we are live from Manchester Township now, because Rob grew up in this area. Where exactly are we for our people living in Somerdale, Stratford area?
Well, as you pass by Route 70 and you're in the Pine Barrens and you go through and you're trying to get to Toms River, Toms River is about 3 or 4 miles away, and then you've got 3 high schools within Toms River: Toms River South, Toms River East, Toms River North, Central Regional, also not too far away. This team plays in the Shore Conference and is a very, very tough conference to play in with all the teams in there. Some of them are in Group 3, Group 4 schools. So it's definitely a tough, real tough conference to play in. Mostly Group 3, Group 4, whereas Sterling playing in mostly a Group 2, Group 1 schedule.
Yeah, well, Manchester actually was in Group 3, Group 2 playoffs until a couple of years ago. They're right at that threshold right there, so a bigger Group 2 school.
Yeah, less than about 10 miles from, if that, from the Atlantic Ocean. So we're real close. I know we had some close shore matches with Lower Cape May. That's about as close as you can get to the shore without actually being in the ocean. And this one, about less than 10 miles away.
Yeah, so if you take Route 70 almost to the end.
Yep.
That's kind of where we are right now, and again, we're hoping to bring you what should be a very interesting game. But again, this is going to be a monumental mountain for Sterling to climb. I don't know who wants to jump in on this. This team you're playing is they're really, really good.
Stranger things have happened, Schulze. We've seen Sterling step up their game and play well down the stretch. We mentioned in the last game about the Red Bank Catholic win, a top 20 team. Sterling played them, beat them as their last regular season game. That's good momentum going into the playoffs, but they're going to basically have to play a perfect game tonight. Well,
a similar situation we were in, 2016, when we won the South Jersey Championship. We're playing against Manasquan, who had won the Tournament of Champions the year before, and people thought we'd lose by 30, and lo and behold, they came in, didn't make a lot of their shots. They were really, I didn't think, played a smart game, and we took it right down to the end and came up just a little bit short.
Again, we are live here. We're about 7 minutes before the start of the game. We'll give you a look to our left, down the left side, as we'll look at Manchester Township. If you're just tuning in right now, and maybe we'll zoom it out a little bit wider here, they are the number 3 team in the state. And to give you an idea of how strong they are, Sterling, who's a pretty darn good team, coming in at 18-9, averages 42 points a game. This Manchester Township team averages 61 points a game. And I'll go even further with you now. That includes the playoffs with that. They are just amazing. They've scored 74 and 73 in their first 2 playoff games.
Really impressive at any level that you could put up 70. Some college teams don't put up 74 points in a game, and now here you have a high school team putting up 74 points in playoff atmosphere, Schulze, and that's really, really impressive. I think that speaks a lot to their three-point shooting range and their down-low game as well.
And definitely the type of team where if they get going, get the momentum going their way, they can really get on teams early, as I think has happened in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. So that's something you've got to watch out for. You've got to counter some of their runs, and obviously Sterling's got to try to get the ball down low to LaTanya Berry, Marley Sire.
Sterling did play Manchester back in March of 2018. The end of the first quarter was 28-6, and they went on to score their average. 74-49 was the final in that game. So Sterling going to have to come up with their best defensive effort here today.
And no question about it. And coming off a very good defensive effort, as you said, in the second half of that game at Cinnaminson. So defense can get you through big games, no question about it.
The winner of this game, if it's Manchester Township, they will host the game. Right now, Middle Township is playing at Haddonfield. At the half, Haddonfield was leading that game. But Manchester Township, I shouldn't say Middle Township, It's funny, up until Manchester Township got in here, when it came to Group 2, it was basically a 3-team race many years. Sterling, Middle Township, and Haddonfield. But now, since Middle Township came in, they've been the big dogs on the block. And again, that's the mountain that Sterling's going to have to overcome here today. You can see we have a little under 5 minutes to go in this one. If Sterling should win again, they would move on. If they lose, this would be our last broadcast of the winter season. The spring season practices started yesterday on Channel 19 and live on YouTube. We will have softball, baseball. We have girls lacrosse. We've added boys lacrosse, and we're going to have volleyball that we're going to try and squeeze in for you as the spring season starts. Those games are going to start around the first week in April, so just stay tuned for the local schedule when that comes along. Still the crowd coming in here in this game as we'll give you a shot of the crowd and what's going on here. Pretty decent crowd, but in general, if you said how many people are here from the Sterling area, it's less than 20.
Not so much. It's a tough draw for Sterling, obviously, here being a little over an hour away and it being a Saturday. I think
Sure.
if this game were Friday night, I think that the crowd would have been a little bit better. And one of the coaches was asking me on the way in, "You guys bringing a fan bus?" And I'm like, I don't think so. not yet. So I'm sure there will be some Sterling faithful there. The Wilsey family to our left, and some of the parents making their way over here to Manchester.
Now you can see here we have them on live on camera now. There's the Wilseys right there. Here we are sitting up at the top. The Wilseys with us. Do I see a little Hoffman up here too?
Yep, little
Nice.
Hoffman there.
Some of our fans. So again, it's definitely going to be a home crowd advantage for Manchester Township as we go through this. But you got nothing to lose. You just you go out there and play. As we're at the 3-minute mark, and you just go out and play the game and you play loose.
Free and loose, yep.
And the problem, again, we'll refer to the time we played here 2 years ago. The first quarter was disastrous. There was a ton of points put on by Manchester Township, and Sterling just couldn't recover. So,
And in that game, if you remember, Sterling had opportunities. They missed probably about 7 or 8 layups. So that's again, you talk about another key. You've got to cash in when you get opportunities around the basket.
I think the key for Sterling, get Marley Sire going. The attention is always going to go to LT. There's no doubt about it. But if Marley Sire can have a good game down low, I think to me that's the key. That to me is the key, and of course the outside shooting as well to try and combat the amazing three-point shooting in the outside range of Manchester Township.
And it also goes to say to what you're saying that you need to have Sire and Burry kind of play together really well. One goes high post, draws the defenders out there, dish the ball off to the low post, and sometimes vice versa. It goes low post, they collapse down, kick it back out to Marley Sire. We've seen her hit some of those jump shots from the outside from the high post.
see Manchester Township warming up there, and to give you an idea, they average 5 3-pointers a game. Sterling averages just under 1 a game. So if you just put that stat into effect, and I'm going to be the math guy here, so I'm going to do 5 times 3 is 15. Give us 3. So right there's a 12-point difference right there alone. Not that that's going to happen today, but that's what you're dealing with.
And again, season stats tell you one thing, but Sterling, I know in the last game we had, definitely looked like a much better team shooting from the outside, and they're going to need all that today because you do that, you draw the defenders out on the perimeter, and you just give more room for the bigs to operate down in the low post.
And Rob, you're very familiar with the Sure Conference. This is, even though they're Group 2 teams, in the Sure Conference, there's some big schools they have to play.
Yeah, you're looking at obviously the 3 Toms River schools. You have, the one down to less than a minute to go. The Shore Conference very, very competitive, and Barnegat is in there, who we see quite a bit as the 2 teams are now heading their respective benches. I'm sure we're going to get ready for the anthem and the starting lineups. Just about 45 seconds left to go.
All right, so you take our picture off the screen, and we will listen in for the PA announcer for what's going on here today.
And your Manchester Hawks. If I could ask you at this time to please stand and move your hats. We have a special guest today, a first grader, Cameron Turzo, to sing our national anthem.
What so proudly we hailed.
Cameron Paterzo. That is the daughter of assistant coach Sarah Paterzo, graduate of Toms River South.
Lady did. That was impressive.
All right, now we're going to listen in as the visitors from Sterling High School, our Knights, are going to introduce themselves to us.
Knights. At guard, sophomore, number 10, Tori Rosie. At guard, junior, number 30, Tatiana Johnson. At guard, junior, number 22, Leilani Franklin. At forward, senior, number 20, Martin Sire. And at center, senior, number 25, Latanya Berry. Head coach of the Knights is Patty Marchese, assisted by Chris Jones, Bill O'Donnell, and Tommy Lewis. Now for your Lady Hawks. At goal, senior, number 10, Amara Reynolds. At 4, freshman, number 1, Angelica Velez. At guard, sophomore, number 3, Maya Gray. At forward, senior, number 30, Serenity Anderson. And at forward, junior, number 20, Destiny Adams. Head coach of the Hawks, Dave Boschman, assistant.
And there you have the starters for both teams. Again, Manchester Township, you see them there. They are 25-7, the number 3 team in the state of New Jersey. Sterling comes in the 5th seed in this off their upset. They are 18-9, and we talked about it in the pregame show. As you look at Sterling, the first 4 minutes, the Sterling has to be able to find a way to hang around in this game.
Yeah, there's no question about it. I mean, that's basically what happened in the first couple rounds for teams that went against Manchester Township. They get going, they run and gun, and they can also hit from the outside. They get that big lead on teams and never look back.
One of the things that Sterling's really going to have to look at for, and we mentioned this earlier in the pregame, is the amount of three-point range that this Manchester team has. Sterling, coming into this game, only has a little over 20 three-pointers on the season. There are 3 players that have more than Sterling does as a team here this season. So it'll be interesting to see how Sterling defends it. And you guys got a chance to talk to Coach Marchese, Coach Jones before the game. And defensively, they're going to have to change things up, try and change things on the fly to keep pace with this team.
Yeah, that's it. Get them out of the biggest thing is if you could get them out of the rhythm. We talked about this team being used to being in the rhythm, being used to scoring a lot of points. You get them out of that rhythm, and that's all part of the recipe for an upset.
Home team in white, Manchester Township. Sterling in the blue. They'll go from our left to our right. Semifinal game now underway. Sterling controls it, and they will set up their offense. Wilsey, the appointed point guard the last week or two since the injury to Holloway, already almost a turnover on our first pass.
Well, you can see they're very aggressive on the defensive end, away from the ball, and are looking to make those steals.
Into Berry. And Sterling will set up. They want to be very patient, slow the game down. Already having trouble. Nobody's moving. And somehow, still in play.
And the biggest thing is Sterling's going to have to move towards girls when they're in trouble.
Boy, look at this defense. And it goes the other way as Sterling has turned it over for the first time already. And I'll tell you, if you're seeing this already, this is going to be a long day.
Well, the biggest thing is you almost have to know where the ball's going to go before you get it. You need a lot of good movement. Like I said, if somebody gets in trouble, you've got to go towards them and help them out.
Here's the weave up high post. Here's a 3 instantly by Adams. Shot no good. Rebounded by Tatiana.
Every pass has to be crisp here for Sterling. They can't make any mistakes.
Inside to Sire. She has it knocked away. On the floor, they fight for it, and it stays Sterling ball. Every basket for Sterling is going to be an effort.
Well, every pass has been contested or tipped by Manchester Township. Sterling's got to get the passes to where they're getting to quicker.
Good fake, Tatiana Johnson. She lost it, turns it over. Second turnover of the game already.
Yeah, much like Barry, you see Adams a presence in the middle.
Velez is pushed out of bounds and quickly picking up her first foul is LaTanya Barry.
Foul on the baseline.
Well, that was one of the keys of the game that we felt is not getting LaTanya Barry into foul trouble.
Township to inbound, around the perimeter. Here's a three. Kaboom! The freshman, Angelica Velez. Freshman.
Well, that's what Manchester Township does. They hit the threes, and you can see Velez set the feet and just fired away at a good, quick release. Didn't even need it, but it's there if she's contested tightly.
Almost another turnover. It stays with Sterling is like playing in quicksand right now.
And again, Manchester Township has gotten a tip or gotten their hands on a lot of passes by Sterling, especially out on the perimeter.
6.5 to go here. First period, we're just underway. And there's a steal.
That should have.
And a lay up and a foul for Tatiana Johnson. So Sterling can't even get the ball past the foul line at this point. As foul shot coming up for Manchester Township.
Yeah, and I think they got the short end there. It looked like there was a push and going for the ball.
Here's Kamari Reynolds is going to go to the free throw line. Averages 6 points a game. She's made 23 free throws this season. This is her first. Reynolds able to get the second. That's her first point of the night. It's a 4-point lead.
And they're going to pick up the pressure right at midcourt here.
Sterling has to come up with a way just to get through this, and there's another knockout. As Wilsey having all kinds of problems.
I thought initially it went off her own foot. Good defense there by Reynolds.
Boy, outstanding technique, staying low. And
turnover number 4. And it goes out of bounds, so Sterling catches a break. But 4 turnovers early on.
You've got to get the ball when you're passing to somebody. You got to get it there in a hurry. And, you put any loop to it. This team is so quick defensively on the perimeter. They're going to get there.
Tori's going to need some help. She's got nobody to pass to as she's trying to create some set of offense. They haven't even set up in their own offensive set yet.
Yeah,
turnover number 5 for Sterling, and into the game is Jasmine Johnson. She's going to replace Leilani Franklin. They need Johnson out there to help with his point guard duties. 4-0, 5:52 to play first quarter. Kind of a weave up beyond the 3-point line. Velez, again, she's the freshman. Barry comes out. Velez drives. Give her 2. She's got 5.
You see Adams out there setting the pick, and I'm sure off of that they're going to have a play where you can use the pick and roll, but boy, very quick.
There's a nice pick. Well done by Sterling. Johnson now into the game. She's short. Rebounded. Here's the fast break. Here's some giving points for Velez. And she'll take it. Velez now is 7, and Sterling calls time. Exactly what the Lady Knights did not want. 5:15 to go here in the first period. They trail at 8-0 as they have 5 turnovers and no points.
Very similar to how the last meeting went back on March 3rd of 2018. Sterling found themselves down after the first quarter, 28-6.
Tack Kazaneski, Kevin Schulz, Rob Strauss with you, and Kevin, again, as we mentioned, an uphill battle.
And the thing that's really been, obviously, you knew a lot about them offensively, the 3-point shooting. They can run the floor. They can score in a lot of different ways. I'm impressed with the way they're defending right now. They're really not giving Sterling any type of room out there to operate, to get open for shots, and the defense has been impressive to me.
5 minutes, 15 seconds to go here in the first period. It's been all Manchester Township, as expected. They lead it 8-0. Sterling trying their best to slow this game down, but already turnovers is killing them.
Yep.
So we'll see what Sterling can get going. Trailing at 8-0.
Manchester backing off the half-court press now. Might give Sterling a little opportunity to breathe.
Wilsey's heading for it now. She gets through almost a 5-second call there. And We get a whistle out of bounds off Manchester Township.
Reynolds is so strong out there on the perimeter, just moving him right in Wilsey's face the entire time.
Nice pass to her sister. Inside. Nice move. Rejected cleanly on the play by Anderson. Running the break. Here comes Bray. Bray had it roll off her shoulder. Somehow brought it back in. And Township will set it up. Again, the freshman Velez. We're going to have to deal with her a couple more years. More than a couple. Whoops. Nearly stolen away. Good kick out in the corner. Here's a three. Kaboom! Destiny Adams, the junior, for a three. Sterling down 11-0.
Yeah, she can hurt you in the low post and obviously can hit from the outside. Just a handful.
Turnover number 6 for Sterling. Want to check in with Kate McDonald, our former coach, just checking in. She just tested me. Wow, is this Manchester Township team good? Just about the halfway point of the first period. Good drive here, Velez, and knocked out of bounds, and they'll keep it. Kylie thought that might have been a carry.
The entire coaching staff just got up, and not often you see Coach Marchese kind of go nuts as she did. She thought it was a carry. Official said no.
Nice job to get into Adams, and they'll set it up. Kicking it. Look at this pass here,
goodness.
Wide open. It's missed somehow by Adams, and out of bounds. Sterling catches a break.
Boy, incredible ball movement around the perimeter and then just finding Adams down on the low post. Just great movement by Manchester Township.
And I think Sterling dodged the bullet there. That could have been LaTanya Berry's second foul as well, and that would have been really, really huge for Sterling. Just under 4 minutes left to go here in the quarter.
One of the things we said you can't have happen in this game.
Turnover number 7 for Sterling. On the break. Around the perimeter. Boy, they run the ball so well. Here's Velez. Nice. Look at this pass. Are you kidding me? Rejected by Barry. Jump ball is the call.
Yeah, that's a good call right there. All ball.
What a pass. That was an NBA-type pass as Raina Pelkak, the sophomore, comes into the game.
Incredible for a freshman out there doing what she's able to do. Velez really runs the floor, does a little bit of everything.
Sterling going smaller. Down 11. Kick it out in the corner. Here's a three for Anderson. She misses. Tatiana on the rebound. And we're going to get a foul against Bray. That'll be her first. So Sterling with 3:25 to go here as you look at that play again. And then the jump ball. That was an amazing play.
Again, a good rebound by Tatiana Johnson. She really has great awareness on those shots from the baseline. Always goes long and puts herself in the right position.
Sterling looking for their first points of the day. Pick and roll. Here's Tatiana. Pelkak, she'll put it up. No good. Berry on the rebound, misses. Give her another, and she puts it in. Berry's first two, and Sterling is on the board.
Yeah, Adams wasn't down the low post. Berry took advantage of the mismatch down there. As you said, Ted, get Sterling on the board.
And with those 2 points, she just tied Kylie Marchese for her all-time points lead as well. So one more, and she can break her own coach's record.
Manchester Township with the lead. They've led from the start, and you're going to carry there in the turnover. 2:46 to go, first period. It's been all Manchester Township. Sterling looking for any kind of offense. This defense has been tremendous.
Yeah, Sterling got a little bit of confidence just through a lot of ball movement, getting those first 2 points.
Turnover number 8 for Sterling. And now a turnover right back as Anderson didn't like it. What's been amazing is most of these turnovers have happened between midcourt and the three-point line.
And this is where, when this happens, Sterling's got to take advantage of it and counter with points.
2:30 to go first period, and turnover number 10, and almost a basket by Velez. That's turnover number 9, excuse me. Johnson on the foul.
We thought Haddonfield had a good perimeter defending team, but this team is off the charts.
They're ridiculous. Here's Velez. She averages 6 points a game.
She already has 7.
Give her one more. As Marley Sire comes back into the game. Give Velez one more. She has 8 of her team's 12. She called short, but it still went in.
Hometown roll there for Velez.
11-point lead, Manchester Township. Turnover number 10. Nice pass, amazing, and laid in by Bray. That's her first 2.
Yeah, if somebody's open, they're going to find them, and Sterling just can't get caught overhandling the ball on the offensive end.
Keep in mind, this is a pretty good Sterling team. They're just getting manhandled right now. Jump ball, good defense there by Ross. Ross is also a freshman. Sterling inbound with 1:46 to go, first quarter. Get it in there to Johnson. She puts up a shot. That's short. Anderson comes away with it. She sends it up. Look at the way they run the break. Partially blocked. Sterling comes away with it.
Yeah, great position by Anderson and a great pass, but they weren't able to finish.
It's great defense by LaTanya Berry running the floor to get back.
Yep.
And they're going to get a foul against Bray. That'll be her second. Team's third.
You talk about Sterling not getting into foul trouble. On the other end, and somehow you're able to get some of these girls from Manchester in foul trouble.
Maya Horrigan, a sophomore into the game for Manchester Township. Johnson to her sister Tatiana, Jr. All the way across, Pelkak. Zone defense now for Township.
And it's the first time that Sterling's actually had a chance to breathe offensively here and set up.
Sire.
Yeah, Sterling just needs better ball movement, better movement away from the ball.
Well, the zone defense is giving them a little bit of room. Wow. Berry wanted it in the corner, goes inside to Sire. Short. Oh, just stolen away by Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson's been impressive on the boards.
Around the perimeter, 54 seconds remaining. Here's a 3 for Ross. No good. Berry on the rebound. They double her quickly. Here comes Sire. Boy, good job by Sire to push away. Mr. Sire right next to us, not enjoying life right now. Get it into Sire. Pelkak for 2. It's good. So Pelkak's on the board. Sterling sophomore for 2.
A little better ball movement, and they're able to get Pelkak open on the outside. Didn't have a defender in her face, but she took advantage of it.
Final 18 seconds, first period. Here's a 3 for Horrigan. Long. Tatiana on the rebound. 8 seconds. Across the timeline with 5. In the corner, Pelkak for 3. No good. Kick out rebound, and that is going to do it for action in the first quarter. First quarter dominated by Manchester Township. We'll step aside here with Manchester Township leading at 15-4, and wow, they're tough.
They're tough, but you hate to, as bad as tough as it's been, it actually could be worse right now. I mean, you've got an 11-point deficit. Manchester Township really rolling. Sterling seems to, in the latter part of that quarter, be a little bit more comfortable on their offensive end and are getting themselves some offensive opportunities. But with that being said, you just can't have all these turnovers.
And here's something else to notice. Kamari Reynolds is coming into this game, Destiny Adams coming into this game, averaging 19 a game, only 3 in that opening quarter. She's been relatively quiet.
And Velez comes in averaging 6. She already has 9. Sterling did a little bit of better job of beating the perimeter out there, and that's kind of what they're going to have to do, but you can see why we're playing the number 3 team in the state. They are very, very good. I am so impressed with this team.
And they're setting Adams up on the high post a lot, but they're countering that with putting Anderson down at low post, and Anderson's been an outstanding rebounder for Manchester Township.
Second quarter action coming your way.
Manchester inbound, up 11. Seems like a lot more than that, the way that they've been playing. Cross-court pass. Thought about the 3, and now they will take it in Hayes Jones. No good rebound offensively by the Hawks, And going to the floor hard as Adams, and she goes down hard.
Good no call.
She's still down. And now with a whistle.
Yeah. Kevin, I don't know if we can catch this on the rebound, if we can play this on the replay, maybe slow motion. Her knee, watch her, she goes down to the ground. Watch her right knee. Oh.
Man.
That is, if she can walk, oh, here comes the score. All right, she just heard Middle Township defeated Haddonfield. I don't know if we can get another look at that if possible. You can see, watch this right leg. I mean, this, she's very lucky there. She was able to walk off with that. And her hip got kind of out of place, too. There you see her on the bench.
And she went down and was down for a little bit, but good seeing her being able to walk off the floor there.
That could have been a devastating individual injury for that young lady.
But a great defensive play that we saw there, getting ball here. You're going to see Tanya Berry putting herself in good position.
Man, thank you to Andrew Kane, our producer director this today, for giving us another look at that. Outstanding job. Man, I'm so glad she's okay, because when I saw that live, I didn't think she'd be getting up from that.
Yeah, you look at it, somebody you can't lose as a junior there, leading the team in free throws, points, and rebounds. And we'll keep an eye on it. Actually, she's going to come right back into the game.
Wow.
So
she's very fortunate.
Very, very lucky. That's a good word to use there, Tad, and fortunate. And we'll see how she's kind of testing it out right here, favoring it a little bit. I don't know if she's going to give it a try. Nonetheless, Raina Pelkak to inbound. Turns it over. Here come the Hawks the other way with numbers 4 on 3. Shot well off the mark. Rebound back into the hands of the Hawks. Now a scrum forward down low. Berry, and it will be Sterling basketball. Middle Township defeats Haddonfield 36-26, so they're going to be heading to the winner of this game. 15-4 here.
On the offensive end, it's not in the same rhythm they were on early on, but at the same time, Sterling's got to find a way of get in the rhythm of their own on the offensive end.
Sire, strong move down low is good for 2. Her first bucket of the game.
We've seen from Marley Sire all year that strong spin move when being contended down in the low post.
She's battling, Robin, getting good position in there.
Cross-court pass. Now in the corner, open for 3 again. Air mails it. Sire with the rebound. Out to Pelkak. Pelkak has Berry running the floor. Didn't see her.
I think if they get a chance to run like that, you got to go.
Sire cross-court for Pelkak. Looking, somehow finds Tatiana Johnson. Not the intended receiver, but they'll take the result.
But a great job of having a sense of knowing where the defender was, pump faked, and just like that, Sterling's within 7.
That was a great job by Sire to know that she was behind her and let it go right to her. Well done.
Another 3 on the way, 2 strong, rebound to Sire. And a foul down low.
And guys, they're leaving the wing open over there, but Manchester Township suddenly has gotten cold from the outside. 2 wide open shots for Township in the last 2 trips down the floor, and they just weren't able to cash in.
I like this strategy. Go ahead, beat us from outside. And the key was we're getting the rebound.
Foul was on Destiny Adams, her first, team's 3rd.
And we're doing a good job defending Adams down on the low post. Has missed probably about 3 out of 4 of her shots in the low post.
Sire, double team down low. No good this time. Rebound.
Tell you what.
And that's Sterling going to be fortunate there to keep the possession here.
The other part of the strategy is LaTanya Berry is playing out in the three-point land, and it's giving Sire room to move.
Yeah, it's keeping Adams out there.
Pelkak to inbound. Turns it over. Ross on the turnover. Here comes Reynolds. Back to Ross. She almost loses the handle.
Yeah, one thing we can't have is the unforced turnovers.
Manchester going to make a pair of substitutions. They're going to bring Anderson and Velez back into the game in just a moment.
Oh,
another player goes hard to the floor. 2 Manchester Hawks down underneath. Now Sterling with numbers the other way. Pelkak. She's fouled. She'll go to the line.
And that's what Sterling has to do, Kevin. When you have it and it's you and another player, you got to go.
Yeah, and you're going to get your opportunity. Great job by Raina Pelkak going down the floor, initiating contact, getting herself to the free throw line with a chance to make this a 5-point game with 5:36 remaining.
First free throw attempt by Sterling is good for tonight. Raina Pelkak with 3.
This report just coming in from the sidelines. Our trainer, Sean Clank, who is an expert on injuries, said for our player from Manchester Township, it was a hyperflexion injury. She's not going to be full speed the rest of the game.
Perfect at the free throw line is Raina Pelkak, and that's an area, Kevin, that Sterling needed to improve on in their last home game. They were not so good from the line, but I believe they finished 1 of 7 from the line.
Well, as this game gets going, especially with them getting the ball down and low post having success, you're going to get fouled. You're going to have those opportunities. You're going to have to cash in.
5-point game. Sterling has responded offensively here and defensively as well.
Yeah.
Look out.
And then they throw it away.
Again, I like the 2 major changes I'm seeing defensively. The other one on offense, letting Berry play out in three-point land, and Sires having her way inside.
5:12 remaining here. And the drought is over for Manchester. They get their first bucket of the quarter coming from Serenity Anderson. That's her first of the game.
And move the ball a little bit better in that half-court trip. Really had everybody get their hands on the ball.
Is that going to be another Sterling turnover? It is. Turnover number 12 on the afternoon for Sterling. We're not even halfway through the second quarter.
It's the end of that play where everybody hit the ground and her player fell on her.
Yeah, one thing you want to make sure you don't do is get caught up in the corner. That's where they're strong defensively.
Long 3 by Velez. That is her second triple. She has 12 of Manchester's 20. Looking for Sire down low. No whistle, and it goes off of Adams, and it'll be Sterling basketball.
I don't know if you caught it on the replay. Watch after she shoots this three-point shot. I guess she's not in the screen. She kind of did the gun, blew on her like she's got the gun. I was like, wow. That's
Confidence
a freshman.
in the shot.
Wow.
Berry for Johnson, looking for Sire. Sire back to Jacinia Johnson, who has it stripped away down low by Velez, and here come the Hawks the other way. One-on-one against Wilsey is good. Gabrielle Ross with her first bucket of the night, and very quickly Manchester back out to a double-digit lead, 22-10.
And a good timeout. This is what Manchester can do. They can score in bunches, and it was 15-10, just like that. In a blink of an eye, we were down 22-10.
As you get to us live here in the broadcast studio, if you're watching from Manchester Township, I'm glad you're with us. We're the Sterling broadcast crew, Tad Kozaneski, Rob Strauss, Kevin Schulz here. So far, Sterling hanging in there. And again, the biggest change I'm seeing offensively is normally LaTanya plays low post, but today she's out front. You saw her out at the top of the key. They've done a good job of that. And defensively, when they can get the rebounds, Sterling's been okay.
Yeah, and you see, to what you said, Tad, getting the ball down the low post to Marley Sire. We have an advantage when she gets down there and having Destiny Adams out of the picture with Berry on the outside.
Those opportunities creating with bringing LaTanya Berry out, that's creating a lot of opportunities for Marley Sire. It's one of the more active games we've seen her play.
And I think it's a very good strategy because if you're planning for Sterling, you're expecting both of them to be down there, and bringing LaTanya out brings a big player out on her, and it's given a lot of room for Marley.
And the other thing we're doing a pretty good job of is defending Adams down in the low post, forcing her in a quick shot. She's probably only about 1 for 5 down in the low post, missing shots, very uncharacteristic of a player of that caliber.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on Adams as well. She had that horrific fall earlier to start the second quarter, and then we'll see how she responds. Good look down low for Wilsey. Can she complete it? No. Wilsey gets her own rebound, though. What a look. Tatiana Johnson can't hit. Marley Sire with the offensive rebound. LaTanya Berry, count the basket and the foul. Sterling very fortunate to get points here and trying to get the conventional three-point play is LaTanya Berry.
Yeah, a great job of Berry just sticking with it and forcing Adams into a foul. But what Sterling can't do, and they did in the early part of that, is they can't get caught overhandling the ball out on the perimeter. They've really got to have better ball movement, quicker ball movement.
Berry hits the free throw to complete the three-point play, and that Destiny Adams picks up her second foul. Team's 5th. Adams in the corner, double teamed. They go cross court to Velez. Velez going to slow things down now. Now they come to the near side corner with Ross for 3, no good. Rebound to Jasmine Johnson.
Had Tori Wilsey ahead of the pack, but just didn't pick her up.
Sire open down low momentarily. They can't find her. I think there's a little bit of a mismatch down there with Reynolds and Sire. And then here's the matchup right now. This is a little give and go. Tatiana Johnson turns it over momentarily. Somehow gets it back to Wilsey. Tatiana Johnson giving Rune, takes a shot and hits.
Wow. And I think you might have seen the effect of the injury on Adams right there, playing off Johnson. She was kind of surprised she was that wide open.
Adams for three, no good. Here comes Wilsey the other way, 2 on 3. Back, Marley Sire. Nice look down low for Berry. No call, gets her own rebound and the putback. Berry with 7.
Well, Sterling within 5. Great ball movement down in the low post. And we talked for all the job that Manchester Township's done defensively. We're a little bit out of sync and left some players open on the floor, and Sterling's just doing the job.
Adams somehow got free, can't convert. She's triple teamed. They kick it back up for Velez. Ross on the drive, bothered by Berry. Count the basket and the foul.
The problem that Berry made, instead of putting her hands straight up, here's the basket down the other end, the block, and put in. Instead of putting her hands straight up, Kevin, when you put them out, it was a foul. There's no doubt.
Yeah, no question about it. I think people were calling for a travel prior to the contact.
Ross can't convert the free throw. Berry with the rebound. Ross has 4. 7-point game as we approach the 2-minute mark in this South Jersey Group 2 semifinal. Johnson double teamed, in trouble. Had Berry. They didn't see her.
Yeah, had her back to her. Didn't see her. But again, you're seeing moving the ball quicker around the outside. They're adjusting to the defense and how quick the defense is, and I think that's one of the big factors why you're only looking at a 7-point deficit right here.
Turnover number 14 on the afternoon for Sterling. And you would have to think, Tad, with 14 turnovers and only be down 7, I think Sterling's very fortunate.
They'll take it.
Under 2 to play.
This defense that they put in is really not confused, but it's really making Township work.
Turnover of Manchester variety this time. Sterling coming away with it here. If they can keep this under double digit going into halftime, I think that's a win for Sterling.
Boy, mismatch down low.
Sire, no whistle. He'll stay here, 1:31 remaining in the half.
I think Sire's doing a real nice job. She is just not getting any calls. Now, again, the refs have a better view. She's just not getting the calls right now if they're there.
There's definitely been contact in 2 of the last 3 trips down the floor.
3 on the way as well, short, and it will be Hawk basketball, 1:26 left to go in the half. She had a good look, did Jasmine Johnson, just left it way short.
The difference right now has been this defense, what they're playing with this extended 3-2.
80 seconds remaining. Circus shot doesn't fall for Velez. One of the few shots that she has not converted here this afternoon.
And we could use a bounce going our way.
Sire, turnover number 15 for Sterling. 70 seconds left to go in the half. Sterling going to bring back in Raina Pelkak.
Yeah, and that was a missed opportunity to get the ball, get the score down to 5.
So Sterling going to go small here. Berry with her 2 fouls. She cannot afford to pick up her 3rd here with under a minute to go in the half.
Yeah. And Adams out of the game, of course, having 2 fouls.
Pelkak's got to chase Anderson.
Pelkak on the help defense. No call either way there. That could have been a charge or an offensive. No whistle.
Yeah, I think we benefited from that one. I don't know if Pelkak had the feet.
And that's how Manchester answers. Amaya Bray chimes in with a triple. That is the 4th triple, of the afternoon for the Hawks.
And this is where you got to feed the low post. You've got an advantage again.
I like that.
Yep.
Great job by Jasmine Johnson. Saw the opening and went for it.
Now, how many fouls is that?
It's 1 for Reynolds.
Reynolds, okay.
That's the 6th team foul.
Got to score here.
37 seconds remaining in the half. Johnson into her sister, now back to her sister. In some trouble. Back up top for Pelkak. Good ball fake, but a 3-second violation. I thought they were going to call the travel, but the official down low. 3-second violation, 31.9, and a 10-point lead for the Hawks. Chance to extend it going into the locker room.
Yeah, and this could be a big momentum swing here for Manchester Township if they get a bucket here to end the half.
Cross court for Velez. Velez back up top. Reynolds On the wave, Ross leaves that one short, bounced around. Sterling basketball. Oh, no, they're going to say Manchester basketball, 14 and a half seconds.
Yeah, went off Marley's head there.
One thing we're fortunate is this Manchester team's really been, for the most part, cold from 3 points.
10 seconds remaining. In the corner. Now back up top for Reynolds. Reynolds on the drive. Long three on the way by Anderson. Too strong. Offensive rebound and the putback at the buzzer is good for Ross. 6 points in the second quarter for Ross, and the Hawks are going to take a 12-point lead into the locker room, guys.
That's a shame because it looked like initially you had position for the rebound. It went out wide and went over our player's head, and being down 12 makes a big difference as opposed to being down 9 or
Yeah, no
or
question
less.
about it. You'd hope you could get it down at least 7 or in any way a single-digit deficit, but you know, with what transpired in the early part of the game, just to be down by 12 right now, and the fact that Sterling was able to do things as the half moved on. They got the ball down to Marley's side in the low post. They were able to generate things on the offensive end.
All right, what we're going to do is we'll take a break. It's 29-17. Manchester Township leads it. We'll be back. We'll keep you a running clock here on the scoreboard so you know when we get back here in the third quarter.
Hey, how was the game?
It was great. We won.
I'm sorry I missed it.
It's okay. You can check out all the highlights on Sterling TV 19's YouTube channel.
Oh wow, really? Alright, I'll check it out then.
Bye.
How do you think your junior year is gonna go? Joe? Joe? Joe, look out!
Watch where he's going.
We've been talking, and I don't think we want you sitting anymore.
We've been friends for like ever. Why do you want me to go?
I think you should just leave.
Imagine being lazy by littering.
It couldn't be me.
Littering has many consequences that you might not even be aware of. It kills over 100,000 mammals each year. It degrades into our environment. It can cause us to live over a big pile of trash. It contaminates our water. It can even cause someone to trip and fall. It is also illegal.
Whoa. Pick that up. Pick it up.
So please, take the extra time to help keep our planet clean by not littering. Throw your trash in a trash can.
I know, right? This whole thing was like,
Wait a minute. Man, where's your ID?
I don't know. Remy's not Irish, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, whatever you say, man.
Young man, where's your ID?
Man, would you look at the time I have to get to class?
I can explain.
Okay, you have to explain in my office.
And welcome back, everybody. Tad Kuzniewski here. My partners are out getting something to eat or drink, I guess. But we are back here live. We've got about 2 minutes, 50 seconds or so until we get to action coming back again in the second half, as Mr. Strauss will now join us back again, as we'll kind of look over some of the stats. Rob, I'll let you give us the stats. Let's start with the Manchester Township
Manchester
first.
Township, I mean, Angelica Velez, the freshman, just went off. 12 points to lead all scorers. Maya Bray with 5. Gabrielle Ross with 6. Destiny Adams, who we saw go down with that, or was that Kamari Reynolds, I believe, went down with that horrific. It was Destiny Adams with that knee. She has 3 points. Serenity Anderson 2 points, and Kamari Reynolds with 1. For Sterling, Raina Pelkak with 4. Marley Sire with 2, even though that's a quiet, very quiet 2. She's been a real big force down there. LaTanya Berry with 7, 5 of which coming in that second quarter, and Tatiana Johnson with 4. Sterling shooting a perfect 3 for 3 from the line, and the Manchester Hawks shooting 3 of 5 from the charity stripe this afternoon.
You can see both teams are back out on the court here from Manchester Township. Again, we want to thank the athletic department here at Manchester Township and the IT department as well.
Yep.
They've done a great job of hooking us up. Oh, now we're live again, so we apologize. We thought there was we will continue on here. Just be careful. That's all that happens. There's a lot of stuff going on here. So the way this sits right now, the winner of this game, if it's Manchester Township, they're going to host Middle Township next week. And it's funny, when I talked to Coach Dave Butcherman for Manchester Township, he kind of felt like Middle Township was going to win that game, and they did. Sterling's going to have to recover from this one, though. It was early on. I believe they're down 8 or 9-0. They were able to get themselves back in it, though.
Yeah, got to within 5 And the bucket at the very end was huge for Manchester. I mean, it gives you a 12-point lead coming into the third quarter here, and it's just going to be interesting to see how Sterling responds defensively. We mentioned this off the air, and that Coach Marchese did a great job adjusting after that first quarter. Sterling down 15-4 after that first quarter, Tad, and just did a great job. Whatever wasn't working in the first quarter seemed to turn it around. Sterling didn't win the second quarter. They only lost that quarter by 14-13.
One of them was, again, having Latanya play out in three-point land, which I think was a nice job. And from there, also on defense, they've done a nice job. So as we get ready for the third quarter here, take ourselves off the screen and get ready for action between Manchester Township and Sterling. Thank you. We're loud. As we get started here, Manchester Township with the ball. Starting it off with the three is Reynolds, no good. And Sterling ball is going down to the floor was Anderson.
They're not shy to shoot from downtown, Jules. There's any open shot, any window of opportunity, they're going to take it.
And Sterling was caught a little bit flat-footed there with Anderson going in for the rebound. Sterling caught a break.
Turnover for Sterling, but they get it back. Tatiana, look for the double team. She needs some help. Get it across. Wilsey. She is turning it over. Here comes Township. Missing. Big rebound there and counted in a foul as Anderson is going to get two more.
And Township's trying to force the issue coming out of the second half, really trying to turn things getting things going to another gear on the defensive end, showing a lot of pressure, trapping the ball going up the court, forcing a turnover, and obviously they get the ball going the other way, and Destiny Adams finishes.
So Tatiana Johnson picks up her first. Give the basket to Adams. Adams will get one more. Adams averages 19 points a game. And she gets that one. She has 6 points. As a team, they're 4 for 6 from the free throw line. Full court pressure. Wellesley picked it up, double team, and a turnover.
This is exactly how Manchester started the game. Sterling had fits with it.
Oh, geez. Well, I kind of agree with Mr. Sire there. The ball was picked up. I don't know if we're getting another look. You'll see she falls right into Tatiana. I don't know. All right, they're calling timeout. I don't know if you can bring that back again on the replay. I believe they called a foul against Tatiana Johnson. It's going to be her third. We're going to try to give you another look at this. I don't see how she fouled her. Let's see if we can see this again. We're getting close to bringing this shot back here for you. Here it is. There's Tatiana. I mean, yeah, that's not a foul on Tatiana.
There's been a lot of contact against our girls going up on that end that hasn't been called.
Yeah, and there's a lot of the bodies for both teams hitting the floor tonight. And it's been here's a good look at it here.
Wow. That's one you just play on.
And on Sterling's end, guys, they can't get caught up in the corner. We talked about them overhand on the ball. Can't get caught in the corner because right now you're seeing the thing that's turning things around for Manchester Township or really getting things going the other way is that trap. And Sterling can't afford to get caught up.
Adams to the free throw line. 6 points tonight. She has 333 rebounds coming into the game. Barry, our all-time leading rebounder, has 279 this season. So she can score and rebound and make her foul shots. 7 for Adams. She'll get one more. Big rebound comes out. It's almost like Manchester Township can turn it on when they want to.
Here comes the press.
Picking up the press.
Oh, there is nowhere to go. There's open Wilsey and a turnover off the hands of Adams.
You know what? I like the idea. That was a great look to find Wilsey. Wilsey, good court vision there to try and find Latanya Berry, but just not quite there.
Johnson gives it to Berry. Berry's looking inside. Wilsey swings it. There's a turnover again. That's 19 turnovers in this game. Velez misses. Big rebound underneath. Berry blocks that. Picked up on the play by Tatiana Johnson.
Berry all game's done a good job countering the shooting of Adams down on the low post.
Berry for three is long. Velez on the rebound. Velez kicks it back out. Anderson. Round the perimeter. Here's your three. In and out. Good kick in here for missing. And Tatiana got whacked in the face, and bodies are flying all over the place. Foul against Adams, I believe, third. Yeah, so she picks up her third.
She might have to come out of this game.
Crowd on the other side doesn't like it. And now you see the coach, that's Coach Bocheman, going over. I mean, they're definitely battling underneath as Pelkak's going to come back into the game, replacing Wilsey.
But that's a call that has to be made because you want to call it both ways.
Here comes the full court pressure. This is giving Sterling trouble. Tatiana, they get it up over Pelkak, and it's turnover number 20.
Yeah, and they're going to continue with that full court pressure. Sterling having all kinds of problems getting it out of their own end.
Adams out of the game with her 3 fouls. 6:04 mark here of the third quarter.
I think that's as much a mental break as it is a physical break. Velez for 2. She hits it. The freshman, 14.
And she hasn't missed much tonight. I think she really only missed 1, but she has been on fire here tonight for the Hawks.
Trying to break the double team. Berry trying to save it. Oh, boy. This is going to be backcourt. And here comes a layup opportunity. Velez, good pass to her left. Put home beautifully on the pass to Bray, who has 7. Sterling calls time. 5:33 remaining in the third quarter. It's now a 20-point lead, just like that, for Manchester Township. But, man, this team, again, we must have said it 100 times. They are talented.
And an 8-0 run to open this second half, Kevin, and it's all of a sudden out a 20-point lead.
Yeah, and the pressure, the traps are translating into points going the other way. So they're using their defense to turn into offensive points and getting themselves out to a 20-point lead here.
Remind people watching live here, if Sterling does not win this game, this will be our last sports broadcast for what we'll call the winter season. As we look at this last play here again, it's the bodies go flying down the ground. We're scheduled for action starts in April again. It's going to be between softball, baseball, boys and girls lacrosse, and boys volleyball. Here's the end of this play again, as they just got tangled up in arms, bodies flying everywhere, and it becomes a judgment call.
Just gives you a glimpse of the physical nature of this game away from the ball.
Again, I want to thank Andrew Kane, our director here, for helping us get these replays and these extra looks out here. As Kylie's trying to fire her team up right now. 5:33 to go here, third period. Sterling broke the half down 29-17. They have not scored as of yet. Here comes the full court pressure.
And Adams with the 3 fouls is out of the game right now.
Pelkak's going to try and beat the double teams. Johnson holds it in play. Johnson is fouled. That foul goes against Bray. If that's her, it's her third. It is. Team foul-wise, second.
They're going to go to the bench here and bring in
Good luck.
Kaylee Hayes-Jones.
Coming out smiling is Bray. Sterling needs some offense quickly. Johnson underneath for his sister, off her head, and turnover number 21. Sterling averages in between 15 to 20 turnovers a game, and it's catching up on him right now. Around the perimeter. Baseline. Boy, I don't know how she got that shot off, but she did. Somehow Township comes away with this. This is Velez. Nice pass again by Velez. And they play on. Kind of stepped on a foot of the Sterling player. Got to watch out for the double team. Get it across. Johnson wants Barry. Barry inside. Sire. Nope, side of the backboard. They battle. And they're going to give a travel call on this one. Just had a spectator run out of the gym on that call.
I think Sire just lost track of where she was. She had good position, just got a little bit too deep on the court.
Yeah, I think they've got to get back to getting the ball down to Sire in the low post.
Oh, that's a tough pass. Luckily picked up by Tatiana. Holds possession. Thinking about there was Jasmine inside. Berry, and they say it's a block. Blocked by Ross. Sterling will inbound again.
And with Adams out of the game, you could put Marley Sire and LaTanya Berry down on the low post.
Trying to get it in. Here's Berry. Nearly stolen. Tatiana to her left. Sire, nice move. Gets the shot off. No good. Here comes Township. Velez puts the shot up. No good. Sire had it and lost it. And now you're going to get a foul against Sire. Sire, I have her just with one foul.
That's correct.
So that's pretty good.
As physical as she's been playing all night, to pick up her first foul at the 4:13 mark of this third quarter, that's pretty impressive.
Still a 10-point lead for Township. 20-point lead, thank you. My math is off. Contact, they play on, and stays with Township.
And the biggest number right now is 2 minutes. Adams has been out of the game, and they're still maintaining a 20-point lead. So Sterling really needed to take advantage of having Adams out of this game.
Nice drive, Reynolds, 5-footer, no. Rebounded by Sire.
Yeah, and you got to pick her up and defend her. Can't give her that much space going right down the middle.
Sterling still down 20. And turnover number 22.
Tori Wills is going to come back into the game. Coach Marchese still trying to find the right mix here. She might be running out of time. Sterling's still looking for their first points of this quarter.
And again, more time off the clock with Adams on the bench with the fouls. And they're still maintaining a 20-point lead.
Yeah, we do not have a three-pointer made today either. Here's a 2. That's short. Berry picks it up. Here comes Tatiana, sends it up for Pelkak. Yes, wow. And a chance for 3. Good job by Pelkak. That was a difficult shot.
Oh, an incredible shot on the run, right under the basket to get control of the ball in stride and give yourself a chance for 3-point play. The opportunity for Sterling to get within 17.
As equally as nice as the putback was, the catch was just as good.
Sure, everything about that play was just outstanding.
Pelkak, a sophomore, now with 7. Sterling is a perfect 4 for 4 from the free throw line. 17-point lead, Township. They have the ball.
And they're just taking time off the clock right now. Again, with Adams out of the game, it's about them maintaining the double-digit lead.
Here's a 3. Long.
Kind of surprised they took that shot.
I was thinking the exact same thing. You're up 17. You're in control of the game.
It really kind of was against what you think they were trying to do.
3 minutes to go, third quarter.
Good job of Tori Wills going to the ball right now. I don't think Sterling's doing that enough, and they're getting in trouble out on the perimeter.
Ooh, said she stepped on the end line and a turnover.
And it had Raina Pelkak wide open on the near side wing.
2:53 to go here, third quarter. Township with the ball. They hold a 17-point lead here in this semifinal game. It's the 11th year in a row the Sterling girls basketball program has made it to the semifinals.
And Manchester's bringing the girls out. You see them spreading it out initially.
Oh, look at that. Nice play inside. She had time to think about it, and Velez loses it out of bounds. So, again, Sterling getting some opportunities.
Yeah, and they're getting opportunities getting the ball here through Manchester Township having a couple of sloppy half-court sets.
Get it in to Berry.
This is where they got to move. Got to move away from the ball here.
Oh, boy.
Got to move to the ball handler.
Timeout. They get it across, and 10-second violation.
Yeah, we've just been getting caught flat-footed.
Again, let's credit this Township defense. Some of it overall is mistakes by Sterling, but this Township defense is really good.
They're creating those turnovers, I think a lot of it. Some of them obviously Sterling's fault, but a lot of these are created off the defensive pressure that Manchester is doing a phenomenal job with.
2:15 to go here, third quarter, 17-point lead, Township. They have the ball. Very patient.
And no rush here at all.
Mr. Sire to our left didn't like the non-call there. Tie-up possible. Now they give him a tie-up. And possession arrow goes Sterling's way.
Almost could have an elbow on Anderson there.
.152 to go, third period. I'd throw a home run ball here. Wide open if they can get it. Wilsey was wide open down the floor, and a turnover for turnover number 24.
Yeah, they've had a couple instances where they've had girls open down the floor, but again, we're down to 148, and Manchester Township still maintaining the 17-point lead.
I think if you're Sterling, look for the home run pass here. I've seen it the last 2 times the floor. It's there. Sometimes it just takes guts to pull that off, and a turnover, a good steal by Tatiana. Tatiana is fouled on the play by Ross. Ross with her second foul, team's 5th.
Yeah, Manchester Township's been turning the ball over, giving Sterling opportunities, but they haven't been able to get the ball up the floor.
4th team foul, actually, for Township. We've made it across the timeline. Looking. Tatiana wants to go inside. Oh, boy. And double dribble is the call. And that would be number 25 on us.
Yeah, got it to LaTanya Burry, but they just haven't been able to get the ball to Burry and Sire in the low post with Adams out of the game.
10-footer and a foul. And the foul goes against Johnson, if I got that right. 11. That's her 4th.
Foul on the play.
And to the free throw line is Ross. She has 6 points in the night.
Foul.
Not able to get that as a team. They are 5 for 8 from the free throw line. Tatiana out. Jasmine in.
On the floor for the Knights.
Yeah, I think you just got to let Berry play here with the 4 fouls with the game's on the line right now.
No question.
That one is converted. 18-point lead. Get it up. Good job to Wilsey. Wilsey looks ahead. Sire. Good job just to save that. And a turnover. Running the break. Look out. I thought we were going to get a steamroll there. Still in play. And there's your foul. And we're going to say goodbye to the career of LaTanya Berry on that foul. She has how? I'm sorry. She has 3. 3, I'm sorry. I thought we were going to say Tatiana on that. I'm sorry, she's out. And 3 fouls there, Kevin, for
Sterling's
Berry.
able to get the ball down the floor. Great defense, again, by Manchester Township, and they seem to be able to do that just at will, and they step it up to another notch when they need a turnover. They get it, and right now are in control of this game, up by 19.
Ross back to the line. As a team, they're 7 for 10 from the free throw line. 8 for 11.
They're not letting up on the press either.
I wouldn't.
Foot on the pedal for the Hawks.
Pelkak looking. Go. Ooh, got a hustle. Who's just got tiptoed over that line. 43 seconds, third quarter. Sterling broke the half with 17. They have 3 points. Pelkak, good fake. No good. Berry. Wow, what an athletic effort that was. Picked up. Johnson, fade away. No good. And rebounded by Velez. 22 seconds in the third.
Oh.
She almost made that. Here comes Jasmine. Sire took a little travel on that, and that is turnover number 27. 12 seconds remaining here in the third quarter.
Getting a little fast and furious. Both teams playing a little bit out of control, but again, Manchester just maintaining that 20-point lead.
8 seconds around the perimeter. The shot will count, and no good. So the shot would have counted had it gone in, and that is going to do it for action here in the third quarter. Manchester Township leads it by a score of 40-20. And they are doing most of what they have to do here. And again, I wouldn't have taken the press off because, again, it's keeping Sterling at bay. I don't want to give them any opportunities. It's only still a 20-point lead.
Even
Never know.
When you're either going to get a turnover on the press on the other end when you're pressing. But even if Sterling breaks the press, you can see they're out of sync in the half-court set and having some unforced turnovers. But this is just the Manchester team that's kind of dictating what they want to dictate out here. And again, the traps to start the second half have really led to them coming out to the 20-point lead. And Sterling just hasn't been able to get anything going on the offensive end, even with Adams out of this game. I think they've only scored 3 points.
So again, we're here at the end of the third quarter. I want to remind you, coming up after this game, we are going to have our coach and players of the game coming up after this. Mr. Schulz will be courtside doing that after this game is done. So we'll have that coming up at the end of this one.
Manchester outscores Sterling in that quarter 11-3. And normally you wouldn't think that's that big of a deal, Schulze, but against a team like this, that's a real tough mountain to climb.
No question about it. You know, it's a 20-point deficit
on the
especially
road.
with the team. With the team that defends the way they defend, and they did a good job. I think we talked about them getting the ball down to Marley Steyer and having success getting the ball down there in the second quarter. And weren't able to do in the third quarter. And like you guys said, I think you got to give credit for them defensively collapsing down and denying passes down there and covering down in the low post.
May have heard our PA announcer mention that the winner of this game will play Monday for the South Jersey Group 2 championship against Middle Township, who beat Haddonfield earlier today. Final frame here. Sterling going to have to come up with a lot of offense in order to keep their season alive.
So if there's a positive note, our season lasted longer than Haddonfield's.
3 by Adams, no good, who's checking back into the game with her 3 fouls.
Trying to be positive.
Sire. Swatted away by Adams. Berry in the corner, she's trapped and turns it over. Township 1-on-3 and losing the handle will be Sterling basketball.
And Adams, when she's been here in this second half, obviously she was out for a while in the third quarter, but there's been more of a defensive presence.
Send
second
it
part
deep.
Of this game.
Look deep. Look
Sterling
deep.
Can't stop here. You got to go forward here, and they almost turn it over. Wilsey there for Sterling. Get across the timeline, throws it right into Destiny Adams. Looking for Berry, and somehow finds Johnson. Berry, little short jumper's good. LaTanya Berry, she has 9 points. 18-point lead for Manchester. 7 minutes remaining here in the fourth.
They're pulling things out. They tried this probably that 5-minute mark and just kind of take some time off the clock.
Long 3 by Velez is good. Velez with her 3rd triple of the night, leading all scorers tonight with 17 points.
Didn't hesitate, went right for it.
And now a steal here by Manchester. Do they save it? No, they don't. Good diving effort. It's a combination of Velez and Reynolds on the turnover. A potential turnover anyway.
And they're going to stick with this press.
Wilsey to inbound, or with the inbound rather, and near side for Jasmine Johnson. Sterling has to get this going here.
That's what I've been waiting for, that play to Pelkak there.
Sire trying to find a streaking Berry. Berry with a right arm into the face of Gabriella Ross. And it will stay Sterling basketball.
As I was saying, that's where Manchester Township's got a lot better defending the low post. And you see they bury the ball.
Sire turns it over all the way for Velez. Easy 2 for Velez.
Velez with the finish for 2.
Manchester out to their biggest lead of the night at 23. Sterling having trouble getting out of their own half court. Almost turned it over again there. Sire in trouble up top. And now Manchester will back off. Sire, 1-on-1 against Adams. Adams, good defense, swats it away. Now she's going to run the floor herself. Adams all the way, can't convert the lay-in. And it will be Sterling basketball. 5:39 left to go in the fourth.
Well, Adams, again, a factor in the defensive end, not ever able to finish. Going to full length of the floor. Again, you have to think that that issue with the knee is affecting some of her play right now, but definitely not on the defensive end.
Start going long already. Wilsey's the only one at the other end of the court. They can't find it. Finally, too late. It's too late.
Turned it right in to Adams. Marchese is incensed. And now a travel.
Before they threw that pass, there was nobody on the left side of the court. She was beyond the foul line. She was open from the foul line to mid-court. Nobody saw it till it was too late.
Marley Sire exit the game. She has
There it is again.
And they know that they're not looking down there, so they're not even defending that. They're letting her go right by her.
Wilsey looking down low for Franklin, who's just checked into the game. She turns it over.
That's number 30 in turnovers.
Sterling has 30 turnovers and 22 points.
Whoops.
Almost a carry there. Tatiana Johnson, ball fake, steps inside the three-point line, passes off to Franklin, who converts. Leilani Franklin with her first bucket of the night. 4:50 remaining. It's still a 21-point Manchester lead. This defense for Manchester, Schulze, is absolutely suffocating.
No question about it. Again, the adjustments they made in kind of denying the ball down to the low post and making it tougher to get points and get room in the low post has been a big factor in what's going on in the second half.
Ooh.
Sterling only has 7 points in this second half. It'll stay Manchester basketball.
Well, with that said, you're taking a team that averages 61. Right now they have 45.
And 72 and 73 in their last two games. 3 short. Rebound to Tatiana Johnson, but Velez almost came up with her own rebound. Tatiana Johnson has Franklin. He goes right to her and then almost turns it over right into the hands of Gabriella Ross.
If they have somebody with a bit of an arm, the deep ball is there.
And they're just letting them go right by. And that, having extra players up here is allowing them to trap.
Wilsey tries to make the move before she has the ball. It's another turnover. 31 on the afternoon for Sterling.
And again, some credit to Manchester for making us hustle, but others are just breakdowns.
Halfway through the fourth, Manchester 45, Sterling 24. Winner of this faces Middle Township on Monday for the South Jersey Group 2 Championship. If it is, in fact, Manchester, that would be back-to-back appearances for the South Jersey Group 2 title.
Ready for this? I'll add one more. They've won it 3 times in a row.
Even better.
Here it is. Already. You can throw that. It's there.
Barry hands off to Tatiana Johnson. They break the timeline. Wilsey open down low.
Oops.
Right between the wickets of LaTanya Barry into the crowd. And they will say it is Sterling basketball as Marley Sire checks back into the game for Tori Wilson.
Now, that was almost a turnover, but that's on the defense. Their defense, again, they're making you think. They're making you hold shots you'd normally take. So that's a credit to the defense.
3:40 remaining here in the fourth. Manchester out to a 21-point edge. Looking for Barry down low. Blocked it from behind by Destiny Adams.
Yeah.
Adams, who was injured earlier, shows no sign of that. And now it's a block, but a foul. They're going to get Marley Sire with the foul down low.
Well, we talked about the trapping, the defense, the press, but again, I think Adams has really become more of a factor in the defensive end in the second half.
Check that. They're going to give the foul to LaTanya Barry with her fourth. So Tatiana Johnson and LaTanya Barry each with 4 fouls. As Oregon to the line converts her first. 3:28 remaining here, Schulze, and the writing is starting to be on the wall here for Sterling.
Yeah, and no shame in losing to a team like this. And Sterling easily has given Manchester Township their toughest game in these Group 2 playoffs. That tells you the type of team they are. We're talking about their toughest game, and it's a 22-point deficit.
But holding this team to 46 points after averaging 60-plus is pretty impressive. And a travel by Jasmine Johnson.
It's 32 turnovers, Rob. Again, this is as good a defense I've seen this year on a girls' game.
And look, Middle's going to have their hands full. Horrigan for 3, leaves that short, rebound to Sterling, but Middle's going to have to come up here to Manchester and dethrone the champs, and they're going to have a real tough time, as this is probably one of the best girls basketball teams we've seen in recent memory.
And Kevin, it's arguable that their best player might be a freshman.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the most impressive play I saw her make was she drove to the basket and just switched hands as she's going up and laid it right off the glass. Definitely doesn't play anything like a freshman.
As Velez comes out and Reynolds come out.
Velez going to have a seat. She's got 5 in this quarter. She had 9 in the opener. 2:42 remaining here in the fourth. And for all intent and purposes, it will be the end of Sterling's season. 2 nice distance 2 from Jasmine Johnson for her first bucket of the night. 2.5 remaining. Adams given room. She leaves that short. Goes off of Sterling. Will stay Manchester basketball as Pelkak checks back into the game for the Knights.
Don't forget, coming up after this game, Kevin will be courtside with our coach and players. The game is Latanya Berry is going to come off, and that's going to do it for her career at Sterling.
Latanya Berry, the 1,000 club for Sterling. 1,000 points, 1,000 rebounds. She's the all-time leading rebounder at Sterling, and it appears that her career has come to a close.
And what can we say that we haven't already said about her? Her accomplishments speak for themselves. A 4-year starter, 1,000 point scorer, 1,000 rebounds. Just a dominant force in the low post for Sterling for the last 4 years.
Destiny Adams' night is now complete as well. She leaves with 7 points.
Marley
Sire done for the evening.
What a job she's done. Just, in that first half, really doing a job down on the low post and just having an outstanding career here for the Lady Knights.
Horrigan hits the front end of the 1-and-1. She's 2 of 3 from the free throw line tonight. And it's a 22-point lead for the Hawks as they will prep this court on Monday for the South Jersey Group 2 Championship for the 3rd consecutive year in a row. Steal almost, and now it is complete. Good defense there by Maya Bray. Goes off the face of Horrigan. Helter-skelter here for both of these squads. Left short rebound to Jasmine Johnson. Well, behind the back from Jasmine Johnson, under 2 to play. Franklin open from the corner. No good. Rebound over to Jacinia Johnson, who's checked into the game for the first time. Desperation pass, desperation shot. Follow, can't convert, is Longsword, who's into the game for the Hawks. And a foul down low.
It's kind of interesting that we're experiencing life now without the Twin Towers on the floor. So this is what we're going to be looking at next year if you're Sterling High School. Is now they're going to have another one of our subs in the game. But it's just odd not seeing Marley and Latanya out there.
Yeah, with both of them out there, we had an advantage down on the low post that I don't think we've had in a long time. Obviously, we had Jordan Wallace, but you didn't have somebody complimenting her as well as you have both of these girls this year, and they're going to be sorely missed.
Maddie Klein checks into the game for Sterling. So with 80 seconds remaining here in the fourth, Sterling knew that they had to pretty much play perfectly today here to come out of here with a win. And they're going to come up short here against a very, very good Manchester Township team. As you see the travel there with 66 seconds remaining.
And we talked a lot about their offense, but to me the difference, one of the biggest differences in this game was the defense. And you guys have talked a lot about it. They really didn't shoot that well from 3, Manchester Township. I mean, towards the end had a couple, but in that first half were really cold from 3.
And they had great looks too.
Yeah.
They had a lot of really good looks.
And Adams offensively missed opportunities that first half, but just the way they defended, and then to start the second half with that pressure defense and the traps, I think that really never allowed Sterling to get into any type of offensive rhythm.
5 3-pointers for this Manchester team here, and we mentioned this in the pregame, we mentioned it in the open, on how much they rely on their three-point shooting.
Well, we said they average 5 3-pointers a game,
Yeah.
and we average under 1, and that's exactly where we are.
Maddie Klein can't convert the front end. Leilani Franklin can't get it to drop it. She'll go to the line to shoot a pair. 53.9 remaining here in the fourth.
Another great job. Again, in case you're just tuning in, we knew a lot about Manchester Township, but again, for duration of time, let's credit this Lady Knights team. 11th year in a row they have made it to the semifinals. Of course, they won it in 2016. That was the year before Manchester Township showed up in South Jersey Group 2.
And even within this season, you look at some of the highlights, as you said, getting to this point again, but the win over Red Bank Catholic with the 18th ranked team in the state. And just the way they played in this 4 and 5 game stretch really kind of got things together. But obviously today you run into a juggernaut of a team that look to obviously repeat in Group 2.
Manchester going to back it out here with under 40 to play and all these subs in for both of these teams. Manchester jumped out to a 15-4 lead after the first quarter, and Sterling never led. And Tad, this team is all that is advertised as a number 1 seed.
Yeah, they do it from scoring, in, out, rebounding, and defense.
10 seconds remaining here in the South Jersey Group 2 semifinal. Manchester Township going to host Middle Township here on Monday night to go for their 3rd consecutive South Jersey Group 2 title. They moved to 26-4 on the year with a 48-28 victory over the Lady Knights.
And what we'll do right now, we'll step aside. We'll take a quick break. We'll have Kevin down courtside, if you will, or down as close as we can. We'll talk to our coach and maybe a player or two of the game when we return right here on Sterling High School TV 19. Before we let you go, we had something wild happen if you're a Manchester Township fan. Something wild happened in the game. We'll just give you a taste of it, and here it is right now.
You could see when she went up, she just kind of moved the body in.
Tanya Berry, another rebound. Off the miss. Take a look at the right hand
So
side.
there you saw right there. One of our unusual things that happened, we have complete coverage of that play. You can go and search one of our other videos on YouTube. As that was one of the craziest things I've ever seen, Rob.
Yeah, with the little kid going onto the court and then Marley Sire swooping that our little man away. Just the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. He saw mom and dad and I guess went right to him. And that went on during the game. We all got a huge chuckle out of it. But that's one of the great things about broadcasting these games, Tad, is you never really know what you're going to see at any given time during any one of these broadcasts. And that's one of the funnier moments that we've actually had here on any one of the games that we've covered. So what we'll do is we'll get off to a quick break. Sterling drops this one 48-28. They end the season 18-10 overall. Manchester's going to move on to the South Jersey Group 2 final here on Monday at 5:30 against Middle Township. We'll get off to a quick break, come back with post-game interviews right after this.
Okay.
How's the game?
It was great. We won.
I'm sorry I missed it.
It's okay. You can check out all the highlights on Sterling TV 19's YouTube channel.
Oh wow, really? Alright, I'll check it out then.
Bye.
How do you think your junior year is gonna go? Joe? Joe! Joe, look out!
Hey, I don't think this is working out.
Dude, watch where you're going.
We've been talking, and I don't think we want you sitting anymore.
We've been friends for like ever. Why do you want me to go?
I think you should just leave.
Imagine being lazy by littering.
It couldn't be me.
Littering has many consequences that you might not even be aware of. It kills over 100,000 mammals each year. It degrades into our environment. It can cause us to live over a big pile of trash. It contaminates our water. It can even cause someone to trip and fall. It is also illegal.
Whoa. Pick that up. Pick it up.
So please, take the extra time to help keep our planet clean by not littering. Throw your trash in a trash can.
Thing looks pretty cool to join.
I know, right? That's why we came this way.
Wait a minute. Man, where's your ID?
I don't know. Remy's not Irish, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, whatever you say, man.
All right.
Young man, where's your ID?
Man, would you look at the time? I have to get to class.
I can explain.
Okay, you have to explain in my office.
Pat Kazaneski back with here on Sterling High School TV 19 and YouTube. Right now we are kind of stalling a little bit. We're going to have a head coach Bocheman out here with some of his players to talk with them, as we promised, for our Manchester Township audience that is watching here today. I don't know if we're going to talk to Kylie from Sterling or not. We'll see. I don't know if they're going to. I guess they are going to. All right, they're going to come over in a second. We'll get ready to talk, and right over there, we'll put her on the other side. In a second, we are going to get ready for Mr. Schulz and our head coach, Kylie O'Donnell. So, Kevin, go ahead. You're good, Kevin. Go ahead.
Here, there we go. Okay, and this is Mr. Schulz back here with Marchese, Coach Kylie Marchese. Coach, obviously you knew it was an uphill battle today. What are your thoughts on this game?
I was proud of the way my team played. I thought they kind of came out and blitzed us in the first quarter, and it took us a few minutes to kind of settle in and realize, okay, like, we're here, we have to play now. And we started taking care of the ball, executing. You know, we cut the lead to 5. We realized we could play with them a little bit if we take care of the ball. We slow the game down, get stops on defense, and limit them to 1 score. And then I thought in the second half, they kind of upped the pressure a little bit. And we just kind of got back to what hurt us all year long, which was turning the ball over and just speeding ourselves up, kind of getting into too much of a panic. And when you do that against a team like this, I mean, they can score the basketball. I mean, they average like 62 points a game. They score up in the 70s and 80s. So when you keep giving them possessions, they're going to score. We can't stop them every time down the floor. So that was kind of my overall, thought of the game. We wanted to slow it down, but we got out to, I think it was 11-0. And when you're behind, obviously it's hard to then pull the ball out and really slow the game down. So it was tough.
Yeah, I think, and we thought that one of the things that, you heard a lot about their three-point shooting, their scoring, as you said, 70 points a game, but their defense is a real difference maker. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, they just put the pressure on you. I mean, they're long, they're athletic, they're quick, and every time the ball's in your hands, they're on you. One person, if not two people. And like I said, when you have that kind of height, we were dribbling ourselves into the dead spots on the floor. Kind of, we were going to the corner or picking it up right over half court, and that's exactly what they want. And they'll just trap you right there and hound you and take the ball right from you. And they really did up their defense in the second half.
Yeah. And probably a good teaching moment for the younger girls, but I think one of the stories of this day and this year and the last 4 years has been Marley Sire and LaTanya Barry. Talk about having the pleasure of coaching them and their development over the last 4 years.
For sure. That's what I just told the kids in the locker room. I said, I've had a blast the last 4 years, coaching those two. And it's not, everyone doesn't walk in their first practice and have 2 6-foot freshmen. So that was a blessing. And, I know they gave me their 100% effort every game that they stepped down on the floor for 4 years. They played hard. I said they set the tone for the program, for years to come. And, this is, I took over for Kate, and this was my first team, if you will. Like, Marley and LaTanya were it. They were the start of, what was going to be our team as our coaching staff. So it's heartbreaking to see them go. And I just told them, more so than players, good people, just good kids, fun. I'm going to get emotional again, but no, just, you're a family. Yeah. So, yeah.
Great job this year. Like I said, a tough way to end it, but I mean, another year going to the semifinals and a great accomplishment. Hold your head high, you and as well the kids, and thanks for coming on with us, Kylie.
Thanks for coming here. Appreciate you guys being here. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
All right, Kylie. Okay, have a safe trip home. And we are going to go back to Tad up there, Mr. K.
All right, thank you, Kevin. Good interview as always. Kevin is going to try and get some of our players are right behind him. I don't know if you can grab any of them back there from Manchester Township. And we're going to try and get them on. I think you may have, I don't know if Adams is over there, the coach. If you can go get them for us, we'll try and get them on for us. He's leaving right now. There's Mr. Schulz is working it very well right now. And we will line him up for his shot in a second. So, again, I apologize. We're getting ready. And let's get ready to go. We get ready to go, Mr. Schulz. So, ready, Mr. Schulz, and...
Talking to Destiny Adams, one of the top players in the state. Talk about this game and the battle that was going on down low in the low post.
It was a really good battle. Those are two really big, good post players. So it was really different for me to actually be playing against people who are bigger than me. And it wasn't my best game, and everybody could tell. But my team around me stepped it up. So regardless, it was just a battle down low, but we pulled it out.
Yeah, and you guys, there were times in the first half your team didn't shoot as well, but what we liked is the ball movement you guys have. A lot of good players. Talk about that. Has that been a staple all year that you've had, that good ball movement?
Yeah, because if we started rushing, then it would just be bad shots and we would continue missing. So my coach said stay patient, so we just kept moving the ball until we got a really good shot that we liked.
And the other thing, we hear a lot about how you guys do on the offensive end of three-point shooting, your ability to score in the low post. But we were impressed about how you defend. Is that something you guys really take a lot of pride in?
Yeah, we've really been working on defense lately because defense wins championships. If you could play good defense, then it'll give you opportunities on offense. So we've been really pushing for defense recently.
Yeah, and it was impressive today. Destiny, congratulations on the win, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. And we're going to go back to Mr. K.
And we're going to try and see if we can get the coach out here somewhere. I think the coach was here. The coach? Yeah, if we can get him, and then we'll see what else we can do, and then we'll call it a day. Again, while we're waiting, Again, I'm trying to help Kevin here. While we're waiting, again, we're going to have spring sports coming up for you. Don't forget the musical is also coming up in a couple weeks. That will be a Channel 19 only broadcast because of the copyrights of the music and things like that. So you're going to have to watch it on Channel 19 for that. That'll be coming up in a couple weekends, I believe 2 weekends from now. And in April is when sports will start again. We will have softball, we will have baseball, we will have boys volleyball, and we will have girls lacrosse, which we've always had, and we're going to add boys lacrosse. And is that our man? Is that our star from the other day? I think that's our star from the other day, Kevin. We'll get Kevin's mic on here for a second. I think that's our star from the other day. Is that him out there on the floor right now? Or our man that ran on the Is that him out there? There he goes. He's running. He's having a good time. We're still waiting. Is the coach available, Kevin?
Coach is going to come over, yeah.
All right, we need him as quick as we can somehow get him together. For a second, we'll give you a quick look at what that play was we were talking about. For that young man, he was the star. Here's this play again.
Just kind of moved the body in.
Tanya Berry, another rebound. Off the miss. Take a look at the right-hand side of the screen here on this replay.
So there you can see that young man was...
How did we miss that?
He decided to run on the court. And again, we have a complete version of that on our YouTube page. You can see that there. And again, if you're watching on YouTube right now, again, we welcome you. The coach is talking to somebody over there, and we're trying to get him on as quick as we can. And there's our star right there, checking things out. I have a feeling he's heading to be a little bit of a YouTube sensation somewhere down the line here. Again, Manchester Township comes away with the win. And, here comes Coach. We can get him right now. I think we're available here. Mr. Schul's trying to help me. We're going to put him on real quick here. All right, so again, this will be it. Once we get the coach on, this will do it. We wanted to get told the coach we'd like to get him on for a second, and once Kevin is ready, we will make that happen. All right, Kevin, are you ready? All right, let's go ahead. Let's get out of Kevin.
With winning coach Dave Boschman, and I checked with him on the pronunciation because I would have butchered it. Dave, great start for your team, but again, the thing that really stood out, we looked at all the stats, but the thing that stood out to us about your team was the way you defended. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's really late in the year what we've tried to turn to. You know, we have so much talent that it's easy to think we're an offensive-driven team, and sometimes you can rest on that. And as we get into the postseason play here in all these tournaments, you can't win big games without playing great defense. You know, and I would say tonight on both ends, defensively this game was played well. As you know, the way we've been going through this tournament, we've been putting up a lot of points coming in, and with that, you saw some runs back and forth in this game, and it was an exciting one. In the second half, you know, when we were able to extend our pressure and get a little bit more control that way, I think tonight defensively that was the tone setter for what we did.
And you always say, obviously, teams in general want to get off the quick starts. And it seemed like tonight your defense is really what translated in offensive points that got you off to that quick start.
Yeah. And, you know, that's the balance to what I was saying, because it was just, in the beginning of the game, it was just suffocating man. And we ran out there. You know what I mean? You're not going to pitch a shutout forever, but it's pretty good, and you can feel the energy and that vibe going. But they bounced back. They found a little comfort against our man. They started hitting good seams coming down to the basket with some post play, which we knew was going to be tough for us with the way that they can work down low. And then it kind of was point counterpoint. You know, it was our turn to adjust again off of that, and we needed to. But that start was everything that we needed against a team like this.
Yeah, and the pressure in the second half, obviously the trapping, because it looked like Sterling was getting into a little bit of a rhythm in that second quarter. Did you impress it upon the girls at the half that you've got to trap, you've got to get in their heads and get things going the other way?
Yeah, sometimes you say some wild things, and I always tell them in our press, like, we can't chase a trap. You can't do it. You can't chase a trap. But the energy that we were getting and the way that the game had started and the pressure we were getting on their guards and the way that they were turning play with the front court, I pulled a 180 on them, and I told them, I said, we got to go for it. You got to go. You got to go get a trap. You got to make it happen, and we got to see if we can suffocate the ball. And then decision making becomes tough. they were crossing the timeline early and then stopping right there in the danger zone early in the second half, and that started a little bit of a run. And then, as you can see, there was recognition. We can't do that. We got a 10-second call. We were really adjusting pressure, and the girls were really starting to feel out when to go get the trap, when to stay loose, when to take away the middle, because they had some good targets in the middle with Barry to kind of get the ball out of the press. I was really proud of them. We did it with everybody. We, just like them, we dealt with foul trouble in the third. Yeah, Destiny's not on the floor for a very long time. We still defended very well. That makes me happy.
Yeah, and to what you were just saying, talk about your team with Destiny out with the fouls for most of that third quarter, maintaining the lead and just playing composed. Talk about how this team just has a lot of players, great players, but also role players.
Yeah, I mean, I think that'll show that we kind of got talent in a lot of places. For the most part, you can consider us a young team, but we have some veteran pieces that were out there for that have so much experience in Kamari Reynolds and Serenity Anderson. And, we lean on them. In a way, we're fortunate, now post-fact that this was not the first big game where we've had to go through stretches without her. We've played that way in big moments, and don't get me wrong. Any coach would want her on the floor for 32 if we could count it. But like you had said, we were able to carve out space against their zone. And I think what you saw in those minutes without her, we understood we needed to be very patient offensively. It started with a lead. Time was on our side. There's no reason to force the tempo. And to me, that was a step of showing that we're a good team where we can speed them up defensively by a lot of pressure, and then as soon as we were taking over with the ball, we could slow things right back down and control the tempo of the game no matter what end of the floor it was on.
Is tempo control, dictating the tempo, the key the rest of the way?
It definitely is. But, we have been preaching our defensive effort is going to be the first thing, but that's a part of our tempo control. Like extended pressure, half-court pressure, that's the way that we've got to look. But any coach at this late is going to want to control the tempo of the game. If you're in control of what's going on, you're most likely in control of the scoreboard.
Well, you definitely took control of things today. Coach, we can't thank you enough for coming on with us, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
We'll take it back to Mr. K.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us here today on Sterling High School TV 19 and YouTube. Again, congratulations to Manchester Township as they move on to host Middle Township. For Rob Strauss, for Kevin Scholes, for Andrew Kane and John Hallwood, I'm Tad Kosneski. We will talk to you in the spring right here on YouTube and Sterling TV 19.